That intro is such a vibe every time I'm in here just like rocking out. Oh my
It is
gosh,
such a
Elsa,
summer
I'm
jam.
so excited to be back here with you talking about more summer awesomeness. I had so much fun last time.
You know what? So did I, Kimber. And what I love about both of these sessions is we're talking about summer education, but in two very different ways. So last week it was all about, hey, how can we get that credit recovery? How can we help those students kind of like make up where they lost the learning? But today it's going to be all about our go-getters. So hi everybody, I'm Bels. I'm one of your partnerships here at Cami and Book Reader, along with the amazing Miss Kimber, who is out in Washington, if I'm not mistaken. And today we're going to tell you all about how you can make summer an enrichment learning activity or an enrichment learning experience for your kiddos. So Kimber, do you want to start us off by first, saying hi and then telling us a little bit about Book Reader and what you're going to do this summer with it?
You bet. So yeah, I'm a teaching and learning coordinator with Cami and Book Reader. And as a kid, I was the student who was in all of those enrichment opportunities in the summer. Sometimes they were pitched as a summer camp. Sometimes they were pitched as like a STEM like adventure or whatever. And I didn't realize till I was adult that a lot of that may have had to do with my parents needing childcare during the summer. I was just like, yeah, more school, let's do it. So today we're going to look at Book Reader and the ways that it can really help support those types of summer programs. And specifically, we're going to take a look at a STEM adventure. So here I am. I went ahead in my teacher account over to the Discover library. Again, students in Book Creator only have access to the materials that their teachers allow them to see, but teachers have this whole Discover library. So I just went ahead and did a quick search for STEM resources that are remixable. I just ticked the remixable filter here. You can see all of these great adventures, some of them created by the Book Creator team, but a lot of them just created by other teachers who are amazing. And I went ahead and curated a few of these in a fun library for us, along with our other summer learning resources from our last session. And let's talk a little bit about how this would work. What I love about these, they're kind of snack sized. Each of them is organized to take just about a week. So if your school is doing more of that kind of summer camp type of program, that means that students could maybe opt in for week 1 and week 3, and they won't feel like they're missing out or behind if they miss week 2, or if you have students who are definitely in for the whole entire summer, all 3 or 4 or 5 weeks of it, they'll get a different adventure every week. They won't be just redoing the same session over and over. And I'm going to take a little bit of a closer look. This one is geared for K2, but the reality is you can remix this very easily to increase the rigor for older students. A lot of it might have to do with to what extent students are moving through the inquiry independently versus teacher guided or whole group. So here we have a read aloud of a story about crayons and then some information. And again, loads of great STEM thinking in here, but also a lot of reading, writing, listening, comprehension. I'm going to come up here to the big yellow plus button, and maybe I'm not a strong writer, but I really have great ideas. I can come and grab the camera and even do a quick video to explain my thinking, or maybe I want to come and record my thinking and just do audio in here. It's super easy for me to do that and drop that right on the page. And speaking of page, I'm going to come up here to my pages view. It's very easy for me in Book Creator to see the whole project laid out at a glance. And right away, I'm noticing that maybe for my students, this is just a little bit too much. I can very easily come in, delete some pages, I can reorder of like, ooh, actually, I think I want to do this page a bit earlier on. So maybe I want to reorder some of these things. Super easy, drag and drop, delete, copy, all of that, very accessible. And then at the end of my term, I'm going to have all of my student books in here. I can very easily cruise through my class view and monitor their progress at a glance. I can dip into any page I want to leave a comment or some feedback. And when we get to the end of the summer, I can take all of Belsa's books that she's made, and I can click here on the 3 dots and combine books, and I can merge all of her different inquiries into one big book of Belsa's Amazing Science Adventure. And then I can share and publish that book and get a shareable link for her family so that they can really see and appreciate all of the learning that happened, because just because it's fun doesn't mean learning's not happening. And for students who are super overachievers, like my niece, who's filled her whole school schedule with dual credit courses, advanced placement, if you've got students doing the full IB, they may be trying to pack some other graduation requirements into their summers, and Belsa is going to show us how they can use Kami to make that a lot more engaging.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Kimber. Thank you, Kimber, for showing us that amazing, like, honestly, Book Creator has so many amazing tools, and one that Kimber did not touch on, but if you're interested, scan that QR code, you'll get your resources. You can also reach out to us. There is a way that you can record your audio. So not only are your kids going to be going through that summer STEM project with their journal, they're also going to be like kind of saying their notes. And then if you are like me and you're bilingual and your parents are Spanish speakers, you can actually translate that audio into Spanish. So that is an absolutely amazing tool. So if you're interested, scan that QR code, give us a little ping, and we'll tell you all about it. All right. But now on to kids, again, students that were like Kimber and myself. Hey, you know what? I needed to take AP courses. I needed to take dual enrollment courses or dual credit courses, because guess what? If you take those while you're still in high school, they are absolutely free. However, you do need to free up your schedule. Now, one of the newest courses that has hit high schools all over is your financial literacy courses. So obviously, most of us would probably want to take this in the summer so that, as Kimber said, we can open up our fall and spring schedule to our dual enrollment, AP, IB, or any dual credit courses. So just because we're accelerating the learning does not mean that we have to take away the creativity behind it, the fun behind it. So I'm going to show you how you can take your financial literacy curriculum, slide it into Kami, and use so many of our amazing tools to really bring learning to life for your students. All right, so let's dive right in. So first of all, before you're like, listen, lady, pump the brakes, I am not working on curriculum. Do not worry. This curriculum was borrowed from Kimber's niece, and it was a set of Google Slides. Now, in the olden days, we would have copied and pasted and tried to move everything around. You no longer have to do that. When you get Kami or Book Creator or a companion, you get this handy dandy extension. Because you have this handy dandy extension, you have access to all 3 of our products, Book Creator and Kami included, but you also are going to start seeing this really cool button called Open with Kami. What you do is you literally click on it. It's one click, and listen, you didn't even break a nail here. And it's going to move that entire PowerPoint or Google Slides into Kami. That's it, one. So you don't have to recreate or remake or copy and paste. It's literally one click and it slides right over. All right. So once we are in here, of course, financial literacy is new to most high school students. So there are going to be words that are new, not only to high school students, but to some adults ourselves, like budgeting. You're like, what? What is that? Do not worry. We have a whole integrated dictionary that can put it for you. And then you can even have this read to you if you need it. You're like, okay, I'm reading it, but I think I need to listen to it to really kind of like take it in.
Noun an estimate of income and expenditure for a set period of time.
Okay, so how much money am I going to spend and in how much time am I going to do it? So you're kind of getting the idea of it. However, there are other tools that really help. So there's a quote that comes to mind, and it is a quote by Albert Einstein, and it says, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life feeling like it's dumb." Now, there was another word, but I thought dumb was better. And why do I say that to you? Look, let's look at this activity right here. It says pretend you want $1,000. Explain how much of this money you would allocate towards spending, saving, and other purposes. So here we have our sentence starter. So normally most students and teachers alike would see this and they would add a text box. Now, a couple of things that make our Cami text box a little bit different. One, we have something called predictive text. So this helps. Do you see? As I'm typing, it's kind of helping me. So me that I was a terrible speller, this would help out amazingly. However, it also does have something called voice typing. So if I turn on my voice typing and I start speaking, look, hands up here, no hands on the typing. I know, so amazing. I feel like a magician. But where students and teachers alike kind of start to freak out is the fact that I'm speaking and my sentence is typing, but it's typing off of the screen. Don't worry. Once I click on that microphone again, it stops and everything is right here. And what's really amazing about this is I've done the voice typing. However, I can go back in because it is completely editable, and I can make my grammatical changes. Now, this is still typed out. What if you wanted to give your students another version of talking? As you can see, I am very Mexican. I speak with my hands. They are everywhere. I don't know why. This is how we talk. And I have had students, when I give them the ability to either speak or record, you should see the way their hands move. So I let them talk and I say, okay, how would you allocate? Okay, miss, I would take $100 and I'm going to put that in savings. Okay, good. I'm going to take $200 and that's going to be my food for the week. Wow, that's a lot of money for a week, but whatever. Groceries are expensive. And then I'm going to take 500 and that's going to go into savings. And so they're telling me everything and they're so excited about it. And guess what? That's another mode in which they've told you how they are going to allocate their $100. Okay, so it doesn't all have to be typed out. It doesn't all have to be multiple choice. Give your students the ability to shine in the way that lets them express themselves best, whether that's written, communicated, recorded. However, you will be surprised what your kiddos or your students can really, really show you. Now, let's just say, hey, there's an article. It's hyperlinked here. Guess what? That hyperlink will still work. It still lives. And I've now gone into the article that I need to read. All right, I'm done with the article. I can close it out. Here are the expenses. Okay, I've actually brought this assignment out. I put it into Google Docs. I want to show you the difference. Here we have our Google Doc. And yes, your students can go in, they can put their text box, they can type in, but you want them to justify their answer. How do they justify? Again, just click on that Open with Cami button. We did this with the set of Google Slides. You can do it with a Google Doc. But the best part is your kiddos can't delete. You have no clue how happy that makes me. Here where that set of Google Slides, you have no clue how magically all of a sudden is like, oh, I don't know what happened. It just disappeared. I moved it. Our kids can do amazing things when you give them the delete button. But here they can't do that. It's kind of all flattened out. And now you have videos, comments. Honestly, it's whatever your heart's desire. And again, if you are interested in these resources, you want to really bring your summer curriculum to life, you really want to help your students advance and enhance, go ahead and scan that QR code. You also have the ticker down at the bottom, and you are more than welcome to reach out to both Kimber and myself and just get to know a little bit more about these tools. So what do you think, Kimber?
So I love how multimodal Cami is and the fact that it lets students really share their thinking in any way that works for them. So as you can see on screen, we've curated that library from Book Creator with all those great books. We've curated that personal finance example that Belsa took you through, and also a few more things. I know a lot of students might do their physical and health education over the summer, so we have some of those, or maybe for those, again, kind of enrichment opportunities, maybe a computer science camp or something that you're putting together for the summer. And all of that is available through the QR code and the ticker. And hopefully you'll reach out and help make your student summer a little more engaging.
And there is our contact info. So if you are ready to bring your summer curriculum to life, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for being here with these 15 minutes, and a huge shout out to our Man in the Back, Hotler.